Alright. What's up, chat? Let's hope this stream stays online because it just started pouring down rain. And, yeah, I don't want it to go offline, but that's a real possibility. Yeah, buddy, I finished those errands. They're done. And now I'm here. Got a current objective. Yeah, we gotta change this. It's accurate enough. Making figures. Yeah. Bah. Alright. So after, what, like a month? It's been a month since I streamed. I don't know. I've had some real decent luck in how videos are performing in that fabled algorithm, so now I'm at 1,000 subscribers. So thank you all so much for that. I appreciate it a whole lot because this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and now I get to do it and not feel like I'm wasting time. So yippee for me. One thing that I wanted to do to celebrate that milestone is make some merchandise. I do have a Patreon that admittedly right now is pretty bare. So I want to start being a little bit more consistent on that, and I also want to use it as a way to sell this new merchandise. I'm planning on doing a limited run of 3D printed figures that I print, prepare, and paint all myself, but there will be more information on that coming soon. I also have the Redbubble shop that I would like to push more, that I'm going to do some more designs on, but all of it completely and totally optional. You just being here is more than enough. And I'm talking to you in particular. But all the shilling aside, I'm going to be sitting here working on some of those figures that I would like to make available to the public. The public being you. So I guess let's have some fun doing that. Yeah, I'm never frolicking at the gnome garden because I'm too busy doing animations, buddy. I'm spending too much time on the pewter, it's rotting my brain. Alright. This whole file is kind of a mess right now because I've just been dragging things in here and not really sorting them out in any single way. But I want to have some standalone figures of the fellas, of the guys, you know, Ark and Schmildorf. There's this inside joke, Batter Up, that I want to make a figure of. In fact, that was the first thing that I made, was the Batter Up figure. I printed it in 3 different parts, and I had it assembled, printed and assembled. It didn't turn out that great, so there's still some more iterations to do, but let me see, maybe if I can get an image of that up here. Of the fellas. Alright, there we go. I have that up. This was the very first printed version of that figure that you can see right here next to my face. I'm going to try and position it well. I might throw it up here in the corner just to keep it there for the majority of the stream. But yep, this was the first figure that I made. It turned out a lot smaller than I was expecting, so it was a lot more brittle than I was expecting, and it didn't have nearly the what do I want to say? It wasn't nearly high res enough for me, so I'm still gonna do some iterations, try and figure out something for this, as well as the other figures. But the whole point of this stream is to figure out what exactly I want to even do with those figures. So we have Batter Up, pretty simple, something that I've wanted to make for a while. Pardon me, I'm just getting things sorted a little bit better. And then we have a figure that I'm going to call a Father and Son that has Schmild and his son, the giant metal man, just sitting there. And that's that. That's what this is hopefully gonna look like. I missed 1K. I also missed 1K because I have been sitting at 1K since like 12 o'clock this afternoon, and it's been crazy. Thank you. Again, that's gonna be said a lot in this stream, I think. But so we have those two figures. The last one that I was working on was Schmild's Tower. I don't really know if this is going to be a good standalone one to have or not. I'm still kind of playing around with it, but I like the idea of it. It's just the print preview that I had, I didn't really like the way that it was looking, so I'm going to have to modify this. But this is the base, what we're going to start with, and we'll go from there. But for now, I want to make a new figure that's not going to be the tower. It is going to be something Schmildorf related. So, any ideas from the chat of what sort of shenanigans you want to see Schmildorf getting up to? I feel like that's a dangerous question to ask, but it's one that I am going to ask. In case you're new or unfamiliar, Schmildorf is this little gnome wizard. He's a guy. He's a fella. He's got a blue hat. He's got red robes. I mean, he's just a lovely guy all around. So what do I want to do with him? I did have an old short where he was balancing on a stack of legally distinct, totally not Monster Energy drink cans. I'm thinking I could bring that into it. Just have a simple... Just have a simple little base of him standing on a tower. I am kind of afraid that it wouldn't stand very well, but this is just the process of getting ideas straight. We're not trying to make anything finalized right now. Just seeing, hey, is this what I like? Is this what I don't like? getting things generally positioned and posed so I can do print mocks and then see how they look, get some other people's opinions on them, and then hopefully put them up on the Patreon for all of you lovely people to purchase as a celebration for 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, baby, let's go. Big numbers. You love to see it? Alright, but now this part you can't see just because of the way I have my stream set up, but I'm looking through my files to find that Monster can, that legally distinct energy drink. I know I have it here somewhere. Oh, is someone actually making a cake? You're making cake time? I think you should make a good old-fashioned boring vanilla cake. And honestly, I think it would go really hard if you just like didn't put any frosting or anything on it and just like ate it by the handful, maybe. Maybe that would be fun. Or, you know, if you're just buying it from the supermarket, which is cool, you could just, I don't know. Listen to your heart. Or don't. At this point, I am looking for the modifiers tab, so I can do an array modifier. We are doing a stack of these Monster cans. Cheating it a little bit because we're gonna do some random z-axis rotation up to whatever it'll give me, which I believe is 360 degrees. Yeah, sure. Then the tiniest little bit of X and Y rotation to make it look unstable. And then we have our 3 Monster cans. X and Y, we're gonna bump up a little bit. Make it even more unstable and even more of a pain to print. But that's a problem for future me to fix. And I would ideally like this to be enough of an angle where I don't need terrible, horrendous supports. You know, for a project like this, I would ideally have a resin printer, but unfortunately, as of right now, I don't. But those are limitations that I will have to work with. So I think for a starting figure, perhaps, this works for good old Schmildorf. And apply all transforms to this, tab in, and bevel this edge a little bit, just to give it that extra flair. Alright. I like how that looks, so I think I'm going to actually add in some more Monster cans. Rotate them and kind of offset them a little bit more, scatter them around on the base a little bit more. I think that could be cool. That could be cool. How about that? Kind of something like this. I don't really know if that's actually working and achieving what I want it to. Perhaps not. We can put them in the actual base plate though. That should be fine. How's that sound? Yo, we got a withered environmental storytelling corpse in chat. What's that like? I thought that might be like the career path for me, but oh, you're asking for crunchy oranges. So see, I already made a video about crunchy oranges. So if you want to like look through the video history, there's a whole bunch. I say a whole bunch. There's one video of crunchy oranges. Now, I hear that crunchy fruit is like an emerging market, so you may see some more like crunchy fruit related videos, so keep an eye out for that. I hear that's big up on the rise here recently. So, but yeah, crunchy oranges in particular, already got one of those. Maybe I'll make a second one since that seems to be so popular among my audience. Yeah. I'm liking how this is looking. Schmildorf balanced on a tower rather of Monster cans. Legally distinct from your favorite energy beverage. I just realized I still have that first figure mock-up on here and it's covering half a chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and boop, get rid of that. So now then, we have our first Schmildorf figure, lone Schmildorf figure. We have his tower, which might take it, might not. We have the batter up figure, which is built into different parts. We have the father and son figure, as well as, okay, that first figure. So, now chat. Where do we want to go next? I say we need an Ark figure. Ark doing his thing. But what is he doing? Cake is for me. I don't think you can, you know, transmit cake through the internet. I mean, if you could, that'd be fantastic. But I mean, you know, like the whole you wouldn't download a car thing. I don't think you can download a cake. Alright, so now we need an additional Ark. Let's go ahead and grab that. I'll have to grab that from a different file because I already kind of ruined the Ark rig that I had in here. Ark parts, here we go. Disable all the widgets. And then there he is, brand new, fresh and clean. Change the scale. Set and rotation. Alright, chat. What say you? What situation should we put this creature in? I do have the he's sitting there sort of thing that I've already made for myself that I may reintroduce a little bit because I'm quite fond of that. So now right here what I'm doing is I'm just making his limbs a little bit larger just because to get an actual figure of decent quality, if I were to print it as is, his arms would be like 3-4 millimeters wide, which is not sufficient for the printer, and it just turns the quality absolutely terrible. So I need to fix that. May look a little funky, but believe me, whenever he comes off the printer, he does not look nearly as bad or as weird. Oh, hey, look at that. Looks like the rain's already stopped, so that's good. We should be able to keep going for the full 2 hours that I wanted to be here. And then once I get all of these figures done, I will be moving on to the animation that I will be posting this Friday. This Friday? Yeah, oh my gosh, this Friday is May 1st. Yeah. But before we can move on to that, I must put this beast into a situation. We could just have him sitting there. I mean, he does like to be sitting there. I can put him on his iconic cube, perhaps. You know, the one he sits in Geometric Hell. That's something. See, now you're thinking with gas, as they say. They totally say that, right? Sure. Go ahead and move him out like this. Real simple, easy to do. Move the legs up. Give the feet some rotation. Put them out like that. And then adjust the pole targets here. Kind of give them a little bit of dynamics, you know what I'm saying? And then his arms come down, grab onto the side of the cube. And this is how you get that classic he's sitting there, but like in Geometric Hell sort of feel. Real fans will understand what I'm trying to say. And it's all complete gibberish, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. And now, here's the cool thing. If you copy this, right? So you copied pose. I don't actually know that you can see that. But I copy the pose, and then I Control-Shift-V, and then boom, the same thing on the opposite bones on this armature. Isn't technology amazing? I think it is. The only thing that kind of makes this a little sucky is just the way that he's sitting. There's a whole lot of overhang here that I have to consider. I could print him on his side to try and get around that. Do also kind of want to scale this up a little bit. But like, it's kind of difficult to do that. Still keep it cube, but not put it through his body, you know what I mean? Because if I were to just scale this up, it would scale it along the origin, and then it would end up putting the geometry like through his legs and stuff, and I just want to avoid that. So it's less of a cube now, but that's fine. I also think it would be cool if he was kind of like on a weird angle on the stand, because I still do want to give this a proper like stand, and then maybe I could have it like curve. Just a touch, just a tad. We're gonna move this to the world origin. Then we're gonna bring him up just to just leave him centered. I like that. Yeah, I'm thinking I like that tilt. It's a nice little bit of tilt. Maybe a little bit less. See, you still have the issue of how do I print it though. I guess that's a problem I can solve off stream, perhaps. I'll go ahead and add in a cylindrical base because I've been quite fond of those. Scale it way up. 1.5 times, sure. Apply that. All transforms into tab into edit, sorry. And then we're gonna bevel this edge just a little bit, just because who doesn't love a beveled edge on their figure? I do. I love a beveled edge on my figures. You know what I mean? I just realized I've been like peeking the mic every time I talk, at least on OBS, so I apologize if I've been blowing out your eardrums. I don't exactly have a proper monitoring tool. Should be good, should be fixed. So regular viewer here has a question. What age did you gain sapience, and do you have a story? Gonna level with you. I don't remember for the first half of that question, and for the second half of that question, I don't have any stories. I'm not an author, so, and also I like don't remember anything. But I guess, you know, once upon a time there was like this guy who had like magic beans or something. But I can't remember the rest of it. All I remember are the magic beans. So, sorry to disappoint. Okay, now here I'm just trying to make the stand to connect the cube to the base, because obviously in real life you can't just have a floating cube. So I think the easiest way for me to do that is to make a Bezier curve, extrude that out, if I can figure out how in the world to do it. Geometry, that's what we're looking for. Extrude that, I suppose, kind of like that. And then we can move that a little bit. Yeah. And then we adjust the depth. Kind of maybe something like that. I don't like that it's round. I wanted that to be kind of square. If you get what I'm going for. Project round profile. Profile might be what I'm looking for here. Steps. I don't really like that. What do we say here? What does this look like? If we just make this all like this, huh? Alright, that gets us our square. Looks kind of funky, but it also looks like it should work. So we'll see about that. It also has some weird shading on it. There we go. That is exactly what I want. We just need to take this and convert it to a mesh. So we can tab into edit mode here. Look at this horrible, horrible, horrible geometry that it auto created. And delete all of it. Play Cuphead. You know, I don't know about playing video games. It's something that I've considered doing for the channel, but I don't know if it fits. I don't know if I have an audience that would really enjoy watching me play video games. If I do, then sign me up, I suppose. I screwed that up a little bit, didn't I? That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Just gotta, you know, right like that. I mean, if it is something that people are interested in, I would be more than willing to play some video games. It's just I'm not sure the interest on that. Mayhaps? Just trying to see if I like this. I mean, I kind of do. I guess it's less about if I like it and more about if you lot, all of you watching, like it. Like it enough to want to have a trinket such as this sitting on your desk collecting dust. I do have these all in flat colors right now. I plan on making all of the bases like a darker color. Arc floating base connector. Sure. Floating base and arc floating cube. Got that going. And just check something here real quick. Things appear to be good on most, if not all, fronts. So we're what? About 45 minutes into this, and I would say we're about at a decent point to move on from this modeling figure nonsense and get to some actual animation. What say we, chat? I say we do. Just make sure that I don't know that Blender actually has an audio capture, and I would hate to try and set that up and end up screwing over the audio completely for this stream, so we'll mess with it. We'll mess with it. We have time. We have time. We have plenty of time. I'm going to open up that new project file, though. What am I looking for? I am looking for Arc's basement environment. Maybe? Maybe Arc's basement environment is corrupted and I have to find a different version of it? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. We can work with this. It's not like I don't have a million copies of it anyway. So we'll just open up our old desk needs cleaning project, which immediately I'm going to go into here and get rid of the names on the bones because I really have not needed those. So I made it. Yo, chat member, I don't know what any of those words mean. I'm sure it's a good riddle, but I'm refusing to indulge just because, quite honestly, I fear for my life and the consequences of reading those words aloud in quick succession, potentially opening a portal. Although maybe I don't, and things just go swimmingly. But, go ahead and delete that. I should be able to... Yeah, look at that. We're all good. That way I don't get an annoying pop-up every time I hit the save button. Anyhow, I need to save this as a new file. We are no longer in March. This is, in fact, the first video of May. And it is going to be called Calendar. Okay, now I'm intrigued because it seems like a logic question. Without much thought, I'm just gonna say yes to the bridge troll in chat, trying to get me to play his riddles. So I hope that helps. May it give smooth passage to anyone trying to cross his bridge. Now, from there, what are we looking to do? I'm looking to open the video sequence editor while I explain to you how the idea, rather, for this video came about. I have a master document of all of the video ideas that I have had for this year. And sometimes whenever I need ideas, I'll either go to a random word generator or I will look up story writing prompts. And wrong. I just doomed all the travelers and myself. Oh no. Anyhow, whatever I'm looking for ideas for videos and they don't just happen upon my feeble mind randomly, I look up random word generators and go off of those, or I'll use actual writing prompt lists from different websites. And this one, the writing prompt was, your story opens with the line, "Today is April 31st." That's what sparked this whole idea, and that's where I'm gonna take it. And of course, it's not going to be anything serious like, oh, there's an alternate reality where April 31st exists, or some time skip mechanic. It's just, Schmildorf is dumb. That's the punchline. Which I'm now finding that I don't actually have the voice lines recorded for that. So, I suppose I could do that live on stream. As they say, screw it, or do it live. Although, unfortunately, you won't be able to see any of it happening, so, let me look for a fun picture for you guys to look at while I'm working in Audacity. Here we go. I found one. Now I just gotta... Oops, it's the wrong button. That's the wrong button there. You just got to move the image. Okay. Now I gotta actually find it again. Into pictures. We are down the way at the bottom of the folder. Take a break. Move this over here. Perhaps up like that. And put this down below the stream overlay. But above Blender. There we go. Take a break. Have a snack. Okay. So you guys get to sit here and look at that wonderful creature while I spend some time in Audacity recording voice lines. How about that? Ooh, yeah, digital cake. That's exciting. It's always exciting. Alright, let's pray this actually all works and isn't going to screw anything up in the live or in the VOD recording. So let me pull up Obsidian. Yo, what is up, chat member? Crone Squared. I feel like I always say your name wrong in the 3 times that I've said it. Now, we are looking for calendar here in my Obsidian app, which, if you don't know, Obsidian is the free, I believe, open source, it might not be open source, alternative to Notion. I think not sponsored or anything like that, but it's a really nice note-taking application that's completely and totally free. You don't need to make an account for it whatsoever, and everything stays locally. It's basically like an advanced notepad, and I absolutely love it for keeping track of all of my animation stuff and other stuff. But congrats on 1K. Thank you. I appreciate that. We have a full list of all of my animation ideas here. Again, sorry you can't see it. It's just I haven't gotten the whole streamer thing figured out, and I don't want to like accidentally dox myself. So that's cool. But here we have Tic-Tac-Toe. That was released yesterday. I can strike that out. Farmer calendar. Here we go. Again, the writing prompt that spawned this video idea was your first line has to be today is April 31st. So I did not have the voice lines recorded for that, so we're doing it live. Can you tell I'm unprepared? Today is April 31st. Today is April 31st. Today is the 31st of April. April 31st doesn't exist, dumbass. April 31st isn't real. Alright. Let's hope that didn't screw things up. Doesn't look like it did. Now, we have fun, and we play it back, listen to it, add the effects for Schmildorf, do some noise reduction. And sorry you can't see any of this. This was unplanned. I thought I already had these voice lines done. Eventually, I would like to do a full, complete, and total workflow of like how I do things, and this will be included in it. Probably even in next stream, which I don't know when next stream is going to be. Maybe in a week, maybe in 2 days, maybe it'll be another month. But I do want to show you guys exactly how I do everything so you understand the process a little better, especially if you're someone who wants to get into doing this yourself. Which, everything that I use is completely and totally 100% free, and most of it is open source even, so. But anyway, now we have fun. We have fun with this. I realized the music has been off for a little while. I forgot it's only like a 45-minute playlist. Anyhow, I was gonna pause it anyway because we're doing voice lines. I am woefully unprepared. Application audio capture. We will do Audacity. Single application. We're doing Audacity. Sweet. So now, whenever I go up here and play things back, is April 31st. You should be able to hear that. I'm going to go ahead and bring that down a couple decibels, just so it's not completely jarring. Probably isn't. There's a whole lot of noise on this, which you can hear. Today is April 31st. Today is April 31st. Today is the 31st of April. Alright, so then what we do with that is we grab this noise profile, effect. We go into noise reduction, get noise profile on that part that we selected, and then Shift R, not Shift R. We select that, and then we Control R to redo the noise reduction. Today is April 31st. And then that gets rid of the noise from my computer fans, from my 3D printer, from anything else that might be going on right now. So, really neat and simple little trick that I learned to make things sound a little bit more crisp. Today is April 31st. I think that's the one we're going to go with. Today is April 31st. Yeah, we're going to go with that second one, I think, because today is the 31st of April. No, I don't like that as much.
April 31st doesn't exist, dumbass.
That is loud.
April 31st isn't real. April... Dumbass.
I'm going to take this, split it out, and then we're going to get rid of this whole section. No, not like that. Like that.
April 31st isn't real.
So then we have the April 31st isn't real, and then we have the other part of the other take. But then we take this
Today is
Schmildorf section
31st.
that we have. We go up into effects, change pitch, and I just drop it by, I think it's 18%, yeah.
Today is April 31st.
And that's how you get the Schmildorf voice. Real simple, real nice and easy to do. Something that might come back to bite me later is how I do these. I just export the WAV file, and then that's it. I mean, let me go into here, and then I want to rename this as calendar.wav. I tried so hard to get Schmildorf's voice without effects. It was just kind of strenuous. I think there are 2 or 3 videos where I didn't put any octave shift or whatever on it. Yeah, I really wish I could just do that. That would be really cool, but I can't get my voice that deep while also doing the accent. I don't think I can get it that deep at all, to be honest. I would do everything 100% in Blender, but if I do any sort of pitch shifting in Blender, there's like a weird tinniness to it. I can't remember which video it's on, but there's 1 or 2 videos out there that I use the Blender pitch shift, and I think you can really tell. But other than that, everything that I do is 100% in Blender, so the rendering, the compositing, the video editing. Video editing is a new thing that I just implemented in Blender. I used to use DaVinci Resolve, but DaVinci on Linux is extremely difficult to use. So, once Blender updated their video editing tools, which are still admittedly kind of bare bones, I switched over completely to that. But we now have the calendar.wave, which has the voice, so we can close that. I just close it. I don't save the project in any way, shape, or form just because I don't. I never really find a need to come back to it. And if I do, everything's spaced well enough that I can just reopen the WAV file in Audacity. So, it is what it is. And it is a jank setup. So, now that you guys, or rather now that I'm done with that, you guys don't have to stare at Mr. Take a Break here. And I can come into the video sequencer, which I changed this from the timeline here down to the video sequencer. And I open up where I have the voice lines, just simply drag and drop, and they're right here. And this is going to be a relatively short video, but that's fine. That is fine. And just take this, and we put it over here. And then we have that. Okay, it is April 31st. And then we have this. We're going to cut in with it to make it even shorter. And then we're going to do it about that many frames. 110 frames, you know. Nice, short, sweet little... This is why a lot of my animations don't take me very long at all, because I'll usually have a day in a month where I sit down and record all of my lines for however long I have planned out. Usually it's like 2 weeks, so, well, 2 or 3 weeks. So 6 to 10 videos that I'll sit down and just do all of the voice lines for, so I have them ready so I don't have to worry about that hurdle. And then I'll take whatever file that I'm going off of that has the environment that I need, be it the basement, the kitchen, geometric hell, anything else, any of the other environments that I use. I would like to start expanding, going back to more of the void type deal where you have different environments all the time, but I'd like to get a sort of loose story together, but I find that rather difficult to do. So maybe in the future we think of some sort of storyline that we can do. I'm not entirely sure yet. But anyhow, a lot of the things that I have, a lot of the assets that I use are already modeled. A lot of the environments are already modeled. A lot of the lighting is already in place. So I just have to go in, pose my characters, drop in the voice lines, and everything works beautifully every time, and there's never, ever, ever, ever an issue. Never. Trust me. But for this one, I don't even know that we're going to have arc visible at all, to be honest. Because the whole point is to have a sort of outside looking in view of Schmildorf, but not actually like through the window, because it's kind of terrible to look through. So I'm just going to delete those vertices, and then this is going to be kind of the frame. So this is where things get fun. I feel like things have changed, I wouldn't say considerably, but enough from when I made my, like, this is my process video. Just because I've learned a few more things. I've gotten a lot more used to how things operate, how things work in Blender. So it's just kind of a... Sorry, I'm focusing down here on the little preview to see what it's going to look like. I don't want to get all of this in frame. I want to have enough of the windowsill, but I don't want too much that you see the other window. I could just remove it, but that's the easy way. I don't want to do the easy way. Anyhow, I feel like my process has changed a little bit since I made the "This is my process" video. Because I've learned a little bit more on streamlining. I actually have a bit more of a schedule that I like to follow. I have forgotten to play the music. There we go. There's a bit more of a routine to it. So I'll start with the voice lines. I do them in batches. The first thing I do is copy any file, like if I'm working off of an environment base, like in this one, I copied the cleaning my desk video, or whatever it was. And then in some other ones, okay, but you duplicate the scene, you guys get that. I've said that probably about 12 times. And then I go down here, I change from the timeline to the video sequencer, I plop in the raw voice file, I chop it all up, I get everything timed out properly to where I think it sounds good, and then that is my basis to work off of, is the voice lines. I do voice lines first, and then I'll get any extra characters appended to the scene. A lot of the time I already have all of the characters in here in the scene collection. I just have to, you know, toggle them on and off, which is really nice. I'm glad I started to do that. But unfortunately, like I said, the basement file, the original one, got corrupted, so like I don't have them all in there anymore, and I just keep forgetting about it. But all I have to do is I have to come into some other file. I just opened that file. Gosh darn it. Whoopsie daisies. I wanted to come up in file append, go into that. FNAF carousel. I do not believe the Five Nights at Freddy carousel sound is in the Pokemon Gym Pokemon Black and White restored track. It might be using similar stuff, but I'm gonna tell you the truth here, chat. I don't hear the music because it's kind of distracting to me, but I just have it through its own little thing, so you guys can hear the music, but I don't hear the music. So sorry about that, but yeah, the sound effect that you're hearing is probably in the Pokemon Gym from Pokemon Black and White, the original games. I don't know if that has any correlation, but moving back on to where I was, we are appending, in other words, we are adding Schmildorf to this scene, because he needs to be in this scene. Now we have all the shelves and trinkets. I have to say, this is probably my most well-organized environments. because it has so much garbage in it, like this lawnmower from Schmildorf goes to 7-Eleven, this skull from a video that I never actually finished, a little tiny version of their oven from the kitchen, the VHS shark from my most popular video, VHS Shark. It's actually my least popular video. I think to this day it stands at like 100 views, which is kind of crazy to me. Not because it's like a really good video or something, but just because, you know, it's 100 views. I mean, nothing to sneeze at, but not what I would anticipate, you know what I mean? Forget, I have to Alt-GR, then I have to keyframe all of these and move it back here. I don't understand what is up with this gnome, but if I delete all the keyframes, as you saw there, his entire upper body just gets like super tiny for some reason. I don't know why that happens, but it does. So we're gonna go ahead and get him moved into position. But then this is what, step 4 or something, appending characters, if they need to be, getting them moved into place. I kind of want him to look like my sad, almost grieving widow sort of deal that we got going on here. Maybe I'll actually just put him in the windowsill. That could be cool. That could be funny. It's just like literally in the window. I'll probably have to back up or otherwise move the camera though. Which, that's fine. See, that's fine. We look at that. We check the render. Unfortunately, that's something you guys can't see. Again, just because of the stream setup. I promise I will work on it. I will actually get it set up so you can all see all parts of the process. But for now, you can't. Then the next thing I'm going to do, since I saw that and I saw this whole compositing thing was wrong, I recently changed my compositing sort of back to what it was, but also a different mix. I wish I had the credit for this author of the Instant Dither node group that I have. It is such an incredible tool that you can use. It immediately dithers any picture with a certain number of colors, which dithering is, I don't know the technical term, but that's how you get this cool little retro, like a dot effect, and it makes pictures look extra crusty, and I absolutely love it. But recently I started going back to another thing where it was like kind of a VHS filter. There was also a little bit of dithering, and then there's also some extra crustiness that I added custom. So I will be appending that. Thank you. Thank you for loving my YouTube shorts. I love making them, and I love that you guys love them. It's genuinely incredible every time like I post something and get any sort of positive interaction. I just love it. I love it. It's so much fun. What was I looking for? I was looking for the new crustification node tree, which I do believe that is a technical term, because the old one was enshittification, and the even older one was called fuzz crust. We are looking, I think does the Easter video have it? Pixelate, node tree, certification, fuzz crust, node group. Pardon me while I drive myself crazy looking for this node tree that I should have. Fuzz crust, other pixelate. I swear I renamed it to something Fuzz crust. Maybe it's just compositing node tree. Oh yeah, this is before I grouped it. So it's just my old fuzz crust thing that was a modified VHS filter. And adding on the instant dithering. Which again, the whole instant dithering thing, I will make sure to put a link to that and the PSX Vertex Snap on it in the description of the stream. I'm going to put a link to all the tools that I use. Once again, everything is completely and totally free. The instant dithering that I use, I absolutely love it, and the PSX Vertex Snap just got a huge overhaul recently. Absolutely love it to bits. That's how I get the little wavy, warbly effect. One day you'll get 1 million subs. All you have to do is keep on trying. I hope so. That is the plan. Wanted to do animation since I was little, and this is how I do it. I hope. Suddenly Iran is here. Why is he here? I don't know. We're gonna delete that. He was never supposed to be here. Compositing. But anyhow, that's the compositing fix. That's how I get this weird, washed out, retro-looking visual. And then to make it even more retro, we have this PSX Vertex Snap, which, again, just got completely and totally overhauled. You used to have to bring in like an empty cube basically, and you had to fight with it to get it to work properly. Now it's like completely and totally done, I believe, with geometry nodes. Stickman animations. I don't know, it's been a while. I don't know if you mean like with stop motion type stuff, or if you mean like just 2D animation. 2D animation is way too tedious for me, and stop motion, oh, it's been a while. Another thing that's just way too tedious, in my opinion. But we're gonna, I think I usually use a 0.03 grid size, base it on the camera. I do believe this is just camera, yes. Add his head, his beard, his hat, and his body. Add Vertex Snap, and you can see how it shifts a whole lot. So now, wherever he is in camera space, he kind of like snaps weirdly. How long does it take to make a short or a video? It depends. This one is only about 8 seconds long, and with me talking to everyone, it'll probably take me about an hour. But if I was sitting here just head down, by myself, listening to music, what I normally do, I would say it's normally about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes for 10 seconds of animation. It's not entirely all that long, especially because, like I said earlier, a lot of the assets that I have are completely and totally reused. But yeah, it's not that big of a struggle, not that much of an ordeal, so to speak. Quite a lot of fun. And now here comes the fine-tuning of this. Pardon me. Fine-tuning of this grid. 2D stick fight animations. Those are pretty cool, yeah. Will I make a video about Brazil? Maybe. I don't know much about Brazil, so probably not. I'll just keep on trucking, and one day I'll get to 1 million subs. And here's the camera Shakeify. That's way too much on the Shakeify. So this Shakeify is another tool that I use to get like a handheld capture sort of thing, sort of vibe to it. And also in this case, it makes the jitter. It makes the jitter a lot more pronounced, and you can actually see it than if I had a still camera. Super simple stuff that I think just makes the animation itself feel a little bit more alive. The character's a little less static. But that's something that I feel like I struggle with, is making characters feel a little bit more lifelike and not terrible. So I do all I can to get that fixed and figured out. So now the vibe here is, again, sad little gnome man looking out the window, kind of introspective, you know, thinking a little bit. That's melancholic. Today is April 31st. I forgot to keyframe his arms. This is where a lot of the time ends up, is that I forget to keyframe something, and yeah, then I gotta repose it. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Every single time, it's so much fun. I love it. Best job I've ever had. Although technically it's not a job because I don't get paid for it yet. Note how I say yet. Eventually. Eventually. Minecraft Steve in one of my videos. You know what? Just for you, I'll add him to the trinket shelf, because we do have an open space over here next to VHS Shark. Okay, so now we have his arms in place. He's looking a little retrospective, not retrospective, a little introspective, like he's thinking. Now, here is a little thing that's really cool. Are shape keys. Shape keys let you take an object and then edit it in edit mode to be a different shape, and then you can mess with this slider to go between its regular shape, which in this case his eyes are just circles, to a squint, which that's how I use that, and the eyes closed are how I animate Schmilde blinking. Really neat little shortcut thing. For the people who can get monetized at like 1,000 and 1,500 subs. So if it works the same with shorts. So to pull back the curtain as much as I can with my knowledge, monetization starts at 1,000 subs, I think, last I checked, which in my opinion, maybe not the hardest, definitely not the hardest thing to reach. The 3 qualifications for monetization are 1,000 subs, and this is for ad revenue. 1,000 subs, you need to have, I believe it's 3 posts within the last month, and either, this is where it gets you, either 4 million shorts views in the last 3 months, or I think it's 300 or maybe 3,000 public watch hours in the last year, which is where everything gets completely and totally thrown off, because I'm gonna actually pull up my channel dashboard and look at my analytics here. Over the last 365 days, watch time, this includes my shorts, this includes my streams, my total watch time is 956 hours, right? In order to be monetized, I need to have 3,000 public watch hours. So even though I have 900 and whatever it was watch hours on my content, I only have 28 valid public watch hours. So that's views on long form content, i.e. not shorts, streams, videos, things like that. So non-shorts content getting views and watch hours from people who are not subscribed to me. Which that's where it gets really, really tedious. So I'm going to have to do a lot more. Streaming, I think, is basically like the cheat code. But I want to get to doing more long form video content. Probably going to end up doing some like tutorial type stuff. Mayhaps. But basically, if you're doing... Time to crack open the alt accounts. That's funny. Basically, if you're doing a long-form content the whole way through, it's super easy. Once you get 1,000 subs, you're pretty much already at your watch hours. But if you're doing exclusively shorts, it is so much more difficult to do. And once you're monetized on exclusively shorts, the rate that you get paid at is absolutely abysmal. So I do need to get into long-form videos. I do need to do streaming more often if I want to make a living off of this, but right now, I work. This is my second quote-unquote job. I'm more than comfortable just doing what I'm doing. I don't want to turn it into something huge because then it'll get way overwhelming. So, anyhow, that's my whole rant on YouTube monetization and how that works. Maybe that helps clear things up. I will say, the first opportunity that I get, I will be selling my soul for a sponsorship if someone reaches out to me. Just saying. Just saying. Although, it's not like I'm going to push some snake oil supplement or something. Or Manscaped, as a certain chat member seems to be. Someone seems to have a sponsor. You guys are funny. I appreciate the support, I really, really do. Even just being here. That's awesome. But, anyway. Shape keys. Those are keys for the shapes. That's how you get the squinting. I do have this half eye that I want to use to give, again, introspection, melancholy. These are the funny, silly words that I use to describe this scene of Schmildorf sitting in the window, proudly declaring that it is a date that does not exist. And that's it. Well, 31st. And then that's the whole video. The whole punchline is Schmildorf is kind of dumb. What do we do? We do this. Sure. And then we go from this, bring it on back, and bring it on back. Along here. Kind of like that. Yeah, he needs more rotation. Rotation. Spin! This isn't spin, though. this, and then we have this, and then he drops his shoulders a little bit more. How's that sound? Sound good? Sounds great. Maybe not that extreme. Let's have. What's this guy doing? I'm making a YouTube short where Schmildorf says the wrong date. Very confidently. He having talent. Adult Swim bumper. Honestly, can you tell? Can you tell where my inspirations lie? But speaking of Adult Swim, Xavier Renegade Angel. I highly recommend that. It's where a lot of my inspiration originally came from. Just absolute absurdity. I love it. It's so much fun. But this is it. This is pretty much the whole short. Although looking at the render, there's this wall behind him. Let me see if I can room parts. We are looking for the blank wall. I told you, Spencer. I'm everywhere. Spencer Ardev in my YouTube chat. About a series, you know, I would love to do a series. It's just I'm a terrible writer, and making anything coherent is like my poison, my kryptonite. But looking at this, you see, we have this wall that's like completely and totally empty, and in the render, it's like so much more pronounced, and it's kind of icky, kind of looks bad. But if you look, this is where the edge of the camera is, and this is where this painting is. That painting's always kind of been there, but we're gonna put it over here on the other wall, just to save it a little bit, just to give it something over here. I might actually change what the painting is. Yo. Hey, see you later, Spencer. Have fun. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate it. But yeah, now that looks a lot better looking at the render. It's less empty, but I do think I want to change the picture that is on that. But what do we change it to, chat members? What do we change it to? This is the question. Oh boy, why are you doing that? My GPU decided to wake up. Schmildorf the Pigeon Wizard? Mayhaps? Maybe. Thank you for all of your congratulations and celebrations. It's very much appreciated. That sounded so canned. I'm sorry. Like, genuinely though, I'm blown away. I don't think I can say thank you enough. That's kind of funny. I was gonna change the way the UV was on this so it fit in the frame better, but I don't know that I want to be honest. Maybe stretch it out even more. I kind of like that. It's funny. Maybe just do like the pigeon's eye. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Let me check the render real quick. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love it. The askewed pigeon. Oh, heck yeah. Look at that. That right there is comedy. Brain rot. You know what, Sussymungus, my fellow chat member, I think you should be really concerned that you took 2 antibiotics because, like, you might develop, like, an immunity to it and then they just, like, stop working. So maybe try, like, reaching in there, you know, and, like, pulling it back out. It might be time to save it. If not, I will make sure to attend your funeral. So sorry to hear that. Never forget Steve. Alright, you know what? Given that this is like completely and totally done, like that's it. That's the short. I know you guys can't hear the audio, but trust me, it's there. The short is pretty much done. I am going to make Minecraft Steve completely from memory because that would be funny. And I'm also going to draw on the texture as well, just because extra comedy factor. And you guys get to watch me model things, which is cool. No, we'll do that. Nope. Control Z. Extrude this down, kind of like that. And then we will do a loop cut here. Alt Z 1. Delete those vertices. Tab out. F3. Do a mirror modifier. Go in and change this across the Y-axis. So that way there makes it super simple. Anything I do to one side, it does to the other. Like you can see, I'm extruding that out. It did it to this side. It's doing it to this side. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And just like super easy. We are mining and crafting, fellas. Look at that. That is Minecraft Steve already made. All right. Crow's, I don't think that's how that works. Maybe it is. I guess we'll never know unless somebody actually does it. Alright. We will go into texture painting on Minecraft Steve here. Actually, I think I need to edit the UVs first. On wrap, we're going to do cube projection, perhaps, per capita. I am Steve. That was terrible. That was terrible. Oh well. We do this. We're actually gonna do just faces here. Go ahead and grab all of these, and then we're gonna unwrap. I believe angle based, not angle based. Smart UV project. No, that's like cringe. Cube project. Why does it look like that? Can you tell that I don't really do texturing or UV unwrapping all that much? So arms a little wider. Are they? Are they a little thin? Yeah, they do kind of look thin. That's a good point. Buddy really knows his Minecraft movie references. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like to see that. I like to see that. Dissolve edges. We're gonna dissolve all of these edges. And then we go back into face selection mode. Then all of these we should be able to unwrap a little bit better. Cube projection. It's still bad. It's still bad. Wrap angle based, and it's even worse. Conformal, minimum stretch. Follow active quads. No. You know what? We're just gonna do this. We're just gonna select everything here, and then we're gonna unwrap, project from view, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go over to this side, select everything, unwrap, project from view, and then we're gonna do the same back here, unwrap, project from view. This is not best practice, just so you are all aware. And believe me, I'm very, very aware this is not best practice, but this is how I'm going to do it. Like all of these, I think I'm gonna just top down, unwrap, project from view, but sure. Yeah. Cool. And then we select all of this. We have... Where are these faces at, I wonder? What's your stance on bidets? Never tried one. I do feel like they might be more efficient. Just gonna say it. How long does it take to make all of these? You know what? I'll give it to you the easy way. My total Blender usage time at according to Steam is 958.4 hours. And this is over the course of a year and a half, I think. So, and pretty much every asset I've ever made in that time I have reused. So, yeah, it's fun. It's fun thinking of life like that. Okay, we need to make Steve Minecraft. And turn the alpha way down. New image. And then we can just... Ideally, we go in here, we do Minecraft Steve as a new texture, as a new shader, and then we look up Steve Minecraft down here, and then look at that, he's completely clear. But oh, suddenly he's there. Isn't that wonderful? So this is the fun part. I really should have made this a solid color over here. Un momento, por favor. We're just gonna whole thing. Did you make all the assets user download them? Everything that I use is 100% modeled by me. The only time that I'll use something that I didn't make is whenever I use like a photograph as a texture. I don't actually think I have anything here that displays that. I guess this is kind of an example, but this I'll say I made. This is just a screenshot of my desktop that I plastered on the computer. This skull is an image that I drew up myself. This is all done using solid materials. This Monster energy drink is a poster, I believe, for regular Monster energy drink that I took into basically Photoshop, GIMP image editor, and I edited the image myself. One second. Okay, it was not important. Alright. But yeah, everything that I make is 100% modeled by me, rigged by me. Most of the time, the textures are done by me. Yeah, Monster. It's got to be legally distinct, man, you know? Alright, so I gotta figure out what the heck Minecraft Steve even looks like. I know I could probably look up an image, but I don't want to. I want this to be fun, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna make it like 100% myself. This is how we do this. Looks kind of Steve-like. I do believe there is actually a pixel brush, which I'm gonna find and use. Yes, paint pixels. Here we go. That's what we want. Heck yeah. And then he has like some sort of a 5 o'clock shadow deal going on down here. And then maybe he has like a nose. I actually don't know. And I believe it's whitish eyes. I think it's white eyes. The hero named Brian. It's him. It's Hero Brian. You know what, let me throw him... Actually, I can, instead of throwing him into his own collection, I'm gonna go... yeah, we're gonna name him I Am Steve, because he is. And then we're gonna turn off the rest of this so I can actually view him from the side here. Somewhere over a rainbow, way up high. We're gonna just shpoink, give him a little marker on the side of his head there, and then do the same on this side. Now where this gets a little bit tricky is that you kind of have to stay the same distance away from the model whenever you're doing texture paint like this. The quote-unquote professionals will use something like Substance Painter, which makes texture painting a lot more simple. I still prefer to use Blender's own, mainly because it's completely and totally free, but also because I'm just like kind of so used to it by now. That's cooking, bro. Let him cook. I am cooking. Jesse. Jesse. We need to cook, Jesse. Mr. White. I never went to culinary school, yo. That's Minecraft Steve, sure. What color is his shirt? It's about like his eyes, but a little less saturated, I think. Sure. We'll go with that. We will go with that, I say. We're gonna kind of just... Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. YouTube, this is not a half-naked dude. This is Just some weird texturing happening. This is Minecraft Steve. He has his clothes on. See? See, he has his clothes on. To the YouTube moderator. I don't know why I'm even doing that. It's not like I'm getting monetized anyway. Okay. Have this. Just gonna be. Nope. Can't be having that sort of bleed thing happening. Now, can we? But then we have this, which. His pants are a much darker. Also, I believe more saturated blue. Yep. Oh, nope. Can't forget. Oh. I can't really do the iconic untucked shirt because I have the mirror modifier. Oh well, I guess this shirt's like doubly untucked. That's cool though. How many lives have I done? This is my 3rd live, but I really wouldn't count the second one because I like didn't talk at all. I don't like how that looks. That looks a little pinicular, as some streamers might say. That ought to be. Oh, first try. Let's go. We're so good at this. I'm so good at this game. No, I'm no longer good at this game. In fact, I'm terrible at it. You know what? That is good enough, I'd say. I'll keep doing that. Keep hitting control to use the eyedropper tool. Does he have brown pants? I thought he had blue pants. Maybe, or is it just the zombies? I don't know. I'm trying to do this 100% from memory, so I'm gonna do the blue pants because that's what my memory says. My memory may be wrong as it is failing at my old age of 22. Let me just do that. Blue tealish. Pants are dark. I swear his pants were blue, like always. That is a crazy thing. Unless the entire chat is one-guying me, which I don't think is a thing. You know what? That's... I must just be the zombies. Oh, no, okay. No, see, I'm right. I'm always right. I didn't have a doubt. Not a single doubt. And doesn't he have like a weird V-neck going on too? I feel like he does. Maybe that's something I'm completely making up too. Oh. Me when I spread misinformation. So true. That's my favorite pastime on the internet. There's Minecraft Steve done completely from memory. Isn't he beautiful? This is... You know what? I'm not gonna acknowledge it. Not gonna acknowledge it, even though I already did. Alright. More of a C shape rather. Okay. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and save this image as steveminecraft.png. Practically the same, yeah. Dark fantasy world. I am Steve. It's him. Okay, and now to turn all of this back on, so you can actually see the room and the shelves and the decoration and all that jazz. And then we take Minecraft Steve and we put him up on the shelf after scaling him way down. He gets a nice little home here next to good old VHS Shark. Now if we look through the camera, along the Y, bring him over, looking a little bit towards the camera. And now we check the render. And I'm going to save this on the desktop. Render one stream. It's PNG. And I'm gonna bring it up over here on the little image thing. Say hi to Take a Break guy. Just for a little while. He might be a little scary, but that's fine. And then render one stream. Alright. So here, just for the sake of comparison, this over here is what you guys have been seeing this whole time. And every now and then I hit F12 and that brings up a rendered view. And then this is, this thing right here is the rendered view that I see that has all of the compositing, all of the lighting baked in properly. I could simulate it by going over here to this rendered shading, but yeah, 50% of the bones on Schmild are in his hat, and I have like never once used it for any gag, but it can be. Yo, we got Steve. We got Steve under the stove. Isn't that so cool, guys? This is peak. This is peak. All right, but that is that entire animation done, and that took us about what? Maybe a little over an hour, and it's with me explaining everything. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. But that brings us comfortably and conveniently right up to 8 o'clock, where I do believe I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a joy. Again, thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to be putting a little bit more work in behind the scenes to try and get something out there in terms of merchandising for those who prefer it. I will also be getting my Patreon up and running a little bit better, both with free and paid options, just to self-promote shamelessly. But yeah. I will hopefully be back soon. Oh, Crohn's, by the way, before you leave, that green building short. Yes. It was, I don't know, who was it that... It was, I don't know, I have the feeling you might know him. You might know him very well. Him or her. That person. You might be very familiar with that person. The green building short is referring to. But yeah, I think it brings us nicely about 2 hours for the stream. Thanks again. Make sure to keep an eye out for all of the fun little things we did whenever the short goes live on the 1st of May. Keep an eye out for updates on Patreon and updates on 1000 subscribers merchandise. You may be able to be the lucky owner of some limited run iFlow universe merchandise, including Schmildorf figures and Arc figures and so much more. See you later, guys. Bye bye.